Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building, Stacy Lynch.
Good
Welcome.
morning, Miss Lynch.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm so happy to be here today.
Now you're running for City Council in District 7.
Yes.
Can you tell people why that's important? Why city council seats are important?
Absolutely. I think people are so focused on the federal government and who their president is. But when you wake up every day and you think about my quality of life, the garbage being picked up on time, or how much rent I pay, right, or police reform, that really boils down to your local elected officials. And whether that is the mayor of New York City or your city council person. And so really your city council person is your advocate. So if you believe there's an issue that's critically important to you and your district and your neighborhood, your city council person is supposed to be the person that is fighting for you.
Now, your dad was very big in politics and very big in helping New York's
A giant.
city. He
Bill
was a
Lynch
giant.
Jr.
A giant.
Tell people who your dad was and what he did for New York City if they don't know.
Of course. My dad was, I guess they used to call him the Rumple Genius. He was a political advisor, consultant to a number of candidates, those who are running right now. He worked with Hillary Clinton, managed her campaign. He worked with Nelson Mandela, traveled to South Africa and managed Nelson's campaign, was very influential with Barack Obama and other elected officials. The current mayor used to work for my dad. And then he also was the campaign manager for David N. Dinkins, the first African-American mayor of New York City. Was able to get him elected into office by building a coalition of unions, labor unions, community leaders across the city. And so he has a strong legacy, not just in the city, but throughout the country.
And you know what's so interesting about guys, David Dinkins gets a lot of credit, but you don't never hear about the people behind these campaigns who really do the dirty work.
Who do the work. I mean, my dad worked on so many campaigns, presidential campaigns, campaigns on a local level, and did a lot of the dirty work, and also helped get labor union presidents elected. So it is a thankless job. And, I have memories where he would spend hours and days, and how that would impact not just him mentally and emotionally, but also his family, right? It's not an easy thing to be a campaign manager or a political consultant to a candidate. It really affects not just the candidate and the consultant, but their families as well.
So this is in your blood.
It's in my blood.
Word.
It's in my blood.
Now, how difficult is it for a black woman to get into politics?
Oh, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, we do a lot of the work, and to your point, Charlamagne, it's a thankless job. I worked in city government for close to 10 years, and built up a lot of programs, a lot of projects.
Did you know that's what you wanted to do?
No.
What did you want to do?
No. I mean, listen, I was hanging out with you at Hampton University, right? The greatest HBCU on the planet. If anyone wants to contest it.
South Carolina State University.
Here we go. Here we go.
Excuse me?
Here we go.
I actually met Stacy the way that most black students meet each other in school, either the cafeteria or playing spades.
Yeah.
So we played spades all day long.
All day long. All day long. We used to smack you left and right.
Whatever.
So Envy Spades game is trash, is what you're saying?
Trash.
Oh my goodness.
I roll out of bed and just play Envy and just beat him.
They lived, I think, y'all lived above me. Right?
Yeah. And we would come down and be like, what we gonna do today?
That was the day. So when you were in the HU, what did you want to do? What did you think your future held?
I mean, listen, I wanted to be an attorney, and I actually did that. I practiced entertainment law for about 10 years. It was a wonderful experience. I worked with Paul Marshall. He had a boutique law firm. And we worked with Mary J. Blige when she was Mary J. 411 Mary J.
Wow.
And it was amazing, an amazing experience. But I knew that's not what I wanted to do, because I would do that during the day, and then at night I would set up free legal clinics to help artists in the community that couldn't afford an attorney. And so public service has always kind of been a part of who I am. Obviously because, my dad and what I saw around me for most of my life, if not ever. I mean, I would wake up in the morning and Jesse Jackson would be cooking pancakes and eggs, or Hillary Clinton would be in my living room.
Mm-hmm.
And that experience just kind of like honed who I am as a person.
How did your dad influence, your career, so to speak?
He wanted me to stay out of politics.
Wow.
Yeah. Because of your point, right? Politics is a tough field, and for women and for Black women, it's doubly hard, right? First, you have to prove yourself and whether or not you're capable to do this job, even when you have a law degree, right? And you've practiced law and essentially advise the top leaders in the city, like the mayor, right? But people still question whether or not you're qualified to do the job. And then there are also, roadblocks. It's mentally and emotionally challenging, in my opinion. But, I think the city, this country, we have to shift the narrative. Women, Black women in particular, are more than capable of running this country and this city.
Absolutely.
We run households. I'm sure your households,
right,
That's right, are run by your wives.
Black women.
Yeah, Black women.
Head of my household.
Exactly. So I think we need to kind of shift that narrative a little bit.
Do you feel any pressure because of the legacy of your father?
All the time. I wake up every morning and, I'll get text messages from people saying, why are you running for city council? You actually should be running for mayor, right? And the expectations are so high. But I try to remain grounded. I have amazing friends like Gina, who went to Hampton, and others. And I try to surround myself by people who kind of keep me level-headed.
So how do you answer that question? Why aren't you running for mayor? Why, city council in District 7? Is it a stepping stone? Is it, you don't want to do that yet? Or
no, I mean, listen, I love this city, right? And while I think I'm more than capable of doing any job in this city, I'm smart. I have tons of resources. But I'm the type of person that believes that you need to learn kind of the system, right? I don't assume that I can just, nor do I want to just jump into something, right? It's kind of like you read a book and then you graduate to the next book and then you kind of graduate to the next book. So, I'm an educator by heart. And I just kind of I want to learn the process. I want to learn government a little bit more before I step into those shoes. Not to say it's off the table. I'm definitely thinking about my trajectory after this, but I just kind of want to take it slow.
I like it. Politicians who actually want to know politics before they run for these big positions.
Yeah.
I hate this whole, I'm going to go run for president, I'm going to run for governor,
It's
and
crazy.
You've never done nothing.
Yeah, It's insane. And you got to know, you have to understand the people that you represent. Those who just kind of jump into those larger races, while I respect them immensely for doing this, because it's not an easy thing to do, I think they forget the process, number one, and two, truly relating with the people that you're supposed to represent, right? And so I'm just like, let me get to know District 7 first before I really understand, like, the city as a whole, right? And I came from, a powerful place. I was deputy director of intergovernmental affairs in the mayor's office, where I would have to clean up a lot of, right, on behalf of the city and the mayor. But it's different when you're running for political office and trying to be elected official. I really kind of want to learn the process.
Now, how did you feel? Well, I know you got the endorsement of Hillary Clinton, but now that I hear that she was in your living room.
Yes.
She's biased, right?
But I like it like that,
Okay.
I mean, listen, a lot of candidates get endorsements from people who don't know them.
Oh,
I want
true. Who actually know you?
I want people to speak to my character.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If Hillary thought I wasn't capable of this, guarantee she wouldn't have endorsed me. Same thing with 1189, the teachers union, UFT. I worked very closely with most of these folks, and they know that I'm more than capable of doing the job.
And you probably know Hillary on an intimate level. Like, if you've ever sat down and had a conversation with Hillary, she's not the robotic politician that she is when she's in front of the camera.
She's so warm.
Yeah.
She's so warm. I mean, there's Hillary behind the camera, and she's funny. She's warm. She's so smart. And I really value her endorsement, but most importantly, her advice.
Did she ever use hot sauce at your house?
Nah. We don't do that type of stuff. Come on, nah.
Now, what are some of the biggest issues that your district is facing?
I would say that's a great question, MV. I would say, for my district and the city as a whole, economic recovery is a big deal. Mm-hmm. And that includes affordable housing, healthcare, education. The list can go on and on. Obviously, police reform. But what's most important to me, is quality of life, right? When someone wakes up in the morning and says, how do I pay my rent? How do I send my child to school, college? I want your local representative, whether that's me or someone else, to impact your quality of life in a good way.
Gotcha.
What if you had to tell people right now, why are you running for office? What would you tell them?
Great question. I woke up, and this was a process for me, Charlamagne. Like I stated earlier in the interview, I saw firsthand the toll that this kind of takes on the candidate and their families, right? What really impacted me was working in city government. And one day I was walking through Morningside Park, and I saw this brother who was clearly hurt, and he was wrapping his leg. And I said, brother, you okay? And he said, sis, I'm all right. And I was walking my dog. I kept on walking. And then I said, no, let me make sure this brother is all right. And I said to him, you know that there are city programs where you can go to the hospital and get treatment, right? You don't need to wrap yourself in a park and hope that this wound will heal and be okay. And it was that moment in time that I realized we need more people in government that actually care on a human level.
That's right.
Right? That have shared life experiences, and that can kind of, really speak to the people. I think folks got really engaged with Barack Obama and the national stuff, Stacey Abrams, etc. But we need to kind of trickle all of that engagement on a local level as well.
Local politics are more important to me.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, get out there and vote. And
please.
When is the election?
June 22nd, Tuesday.
Okay.
Yep. But there's early voting going on right now. Mm-hmm. Your polls open at 7 a.m. and close at 9 p.m. There's a new system in town called ranked choice voting, where you can select 5 candidates. I want to be your number one, particularly if you're in District 7. But, I encourage everyone across the city, please, please, please go out and vote. There's so many incredible candidates running, candidates of color. And, if you're wondering how do we make change, now is the time to really do it.
And give them your website and everything so people can check you out. They can donate if they need to and all that.
Absolutely. My website is Stacy, STACY, for City Council, FOR, citycouncil.com. Check it out. I mean, we've raised enough money. I don't need any more money. Mm-hmm. But check out my policy. Shoot me an email if you think I need to be doing something. I want to hear that from you. And, I want to say one last thing before we wrap up. Mm-hmm. It's critically important that, particularly for this election, and I would also say the mayor, let's elect more women.
Word.
Mm-hmm. Let's elect more women. If elected, when elected, I'll be the first woman to ever represent this district, District 7. and most of the voters are women. I think 55% of the population are women. So we need to kind of shift that so that we actually have an accurate representation of the district.
Who do you like as far as the mayor race?
Envy. Come on, man.
That's the last question, right? Who do you like? As you know,
come on, man. Listen, I know most of them very well. Mm-hmm. I'll just leave it at this. I think it's time for a woman, right, to represent New York City.
Stacy Lynch just endorsed Maya Wiley.
I mean, there's some great candidates out there. And has Maya been on the show?
Yes.
I wasn't here for that interview, but she was here this week. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Monday.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. I like Maya. I like Catherine. I like Morales, but she had a little hiccup. You know, I'm all about treating your staff and labor right. So I hope they're able to, come to some type of resolution. But
good way to throw them off. Stacey.
Yeah.
Name all of them. Name all.
I'm a politician still, baby.
Stacy Lynch, we appreciate you.
Thank you so much, Envy. You are my brother for life. I appreciate you.
Get out there and vote. And it's Stacy Lynch. It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.